I've been involved with employee ownership since 1979, when I moved to Vermont to begin working with a company called Gardenway, which is one of the pioneers in employee ownership in Vermont. Later, while working with the Industrial Cooperative Association, I was involved in the early efforts in Burlington, driven by then Mayor Sanders, to explore employee ownership in that city. And I was the founder of the VEOC in 2001 and have been in my current position since 2007. Our mission at the VEOC, Vermont Employee Ownership Center, is to promote and foster employee ownership in order to broaden capital ownership, deepen employee participation, retain jobs, increase living standards for working families, and stabilize communities. We do this by offering a variety of educational outreach programs involving conferences and workshops, and also by providing direct technical assistance and information to companies interested in exploring this opportunity. Since our founding, we've had such direct conversations with over 165 companies in Vermont. The number of those companies which subsequently implemented some form of employee ownership is about to hit 14, with a total of over 550 jobs impacted from this. Nationally, there are over 10,000 companies in the U.S. with some form of employee ownership, but there really should be more. The 30 to 40 such companies in Vermont, actually on a per capita basis, is very high. And we think that's due in part to the presence of the EOC here to help with that process. In helping to establish similar centers around the nation, we believe the WORK Act that Senator Sanders just told you about could contribute significantly to increasing the number of employee-owned companies. We think the best evidence in favor of employee ownership is provided with the real-world examples, and we'll be hearing stories today from some wonderful Vermont companies. We like to refer to the disproportionate excellence of these companies because we think that the employee-owned companies in Vermont seem to gain more recognition and win more awards than their modest numbers would indicate. We at the VEOC are very devoted to the objective of helping create more such companies. A couple of brief comments about the funding realities, however, of all of this. While we are not terribly involved in the financial end of these deals, it's true that most of these transactions do involve a certain level of bank borrowing. It's our understanding that both locally and nationally, there's a real problem now with timely access to capital to make these deals happen. We strongly believe that the U.S. Employee Ownership Bank Act, that you just heard about, can play an important role in facilitating such deals when it has a positive impact on the number of successful transactions in Vermont and elsewhere. Another funding reality is the money to run centers like ours. Our initial funding came from a variety of grants, and then in 2002, a federal appropriation that then Representative Sanders helped us secure. We've since developed a stream of other sources of revenue, including private corporate sponsorships, some modest support from the state, and Senator Leahy helped us obtain an SBA grant that has been instrumental for the last several years for us. There's no question in my mind that government support will remain an essential part of the funding of a center like this, but it's always felt very tenuous and temporary. A federal grant, such as might result from the WORK Act, around which we could build a budget, provide core funding, would really be very instrumental to our future success. We believe that statewide programs like ours and the one from Ohio you're about to hear about have a crucial role to play in creating more employee-owned companies in this nation, and may well be the most cost-effective way to do so. As with the Employee Ownership Bank Act, we have great hopes for the WORK Act, that it will be passed, the statewide programs will be developed and will flourish, and most importantly, that these programs will help create more excellent employee-owned companies around the U.S. Thank you.
John, thanks very much. We're delighted to have